I think that the JLP's attempts to use my color as a political battering ram smacks of desperation.
I just got around us a while ago, and I see this man with a chain around him neck, and somebody ask him, what exactly happened to your big son? Andrew have me on a bandage for 7 years, and we tired of the labor rights.
I think that the JLP's attempts to use my color as a political battering ram smacks of desperation.
Lord have mercy. I get a feeling, I have a feeling that Mark Golden has the key to release him out of madness. I get a feeling. I have a feeling.
I think that this is a sad turn of events, and I'm very disappointed in the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party that they tacitly encourage this kind of behavior.
I get a feeling. I have a feeling. I say I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I say I have a feeling.
You see that? You see all them jumping up and cheering and carrying on? Not one of them recognized what was going on before them. And when we go foreign and people, according to we, disrespect we and treat we bad and we say them are racist, we don't understand the reason why. And things like these. You think any other race of people would have said this will take place and don't recognize what going on? Eh? That's why them think black people fool. And fool people are not to be respected. How, you know, see how people treat people who them think mad on the street? You know, see how people treat street people? Yes, we're not street people. But when they look upon, when they think that we are idiot, so they can't take any step on liberty with we, and not a thing will come of it. Examples like this. And then when people tell us that we are idiot, we feel offended. Why are we being offended? We shouldn't be offended. We must accept facts or facts. Grable Hines. We see somebody look like Mark Golding's wife and Angela Brown Burke cheering, and the whole of them waving them flag and vuvuzela, and yeah, not one of them recognized what was going on. The black man, this is a skit, you know, because he's under pressure, and we're putting him under pressure under the resistance, and talking about the fact that he is the son of slave owners in this country, Benjamin Nunes and Esther Nunes. That's Mark Golding's great-grandmother, Isabel Tyson Brown, great-grandparents, right? Benjamin and Esther Nunes. The evidence is there. We have the lineage. We can prove it, and we're going to prove it in this video and continue to show you until you understand what we mean when we say that there is something very unethical about the very idea that the slave master Pickney believed that he must once again come and rule over the slaves. And look at his behavior. Look at his behavior. He never see anything wrong with this. It never occurred to him. So because we put him under pressure, and everybody now knows he is a descendant of slave owners in this country. 50 slaves were what they own, and go collect money from the British government in 1835. Them get payment. And what did they do after? Pitch out the people for we ancestors out on the street with the clothes on them back. Right? Nowhere to live. No food to eat. This after our ancestors slaved and worked to put them where they are and make them rich. And they did not care. You either come and you work for them, or if you don't want to work for them, you're going out of the street and die. So in order to counter this fact that is out there that they recognize as damaging, they came up with this skit. And what is this skit? What is the message in this skit? What is this skit about? Their message is that, yes, Mark Golding is a white man. Yes, Mark Golding is a slave master picnic. But we have in Jamaica a black man that is ruling, that has the black man now under bondage. And it's this white man that is going to come and rescue the black man now, because he has the key. He has the key, you know. When you see him take it out of his pocket and show us him had the key to release him from the bondage. That was the message. And never recognized that the message that they were giving was a counter message. It's saying something else. And him thought that this was appropriate. Him never think about it. When him talk about the Labour Party not chastising them own people for talking about his race. Them not talking about your race, sir. Them talking about the fact that you're a slave master picnic. That's the first thing them talking about. And them reaction is because you got to take the chain, put around the black man's neck, and have the key about here, take it off. You could only have had the key to free that black man because the padlock belonged to you. And if the padlock belonged to you, the chain belonged to you. So it was you, you imbecile, you idiot, who put the chain on the black man's neck in the first place. And then turn round and tell lie, so the black man will rule the country, put him under bondage. You damn liar. And you hear what Dayton say? What Dayton say? What him granny tell him say? Every liar is a... That is what them reacting to. That is racism. Right? Come talk about, say, you put the black man in chains, so you had the key to take him out. That is what you son of a guns were doing out there. And those stupid comrades were sitting down in the crowd, cheering and laughing. Like they don't have no sense. And have you there a talk about, say, you as a white man have the key. You put him in a bondage, so you have a white man, as a white man have the key to release him from his bondage. And you not call it, you not think that is racism? You think that the whole of us supposed to feel happy about that? You take your cussing where you get, right? And you take yourself and put in the politics. And you make the decisions where you made to go. They come trying to portray yourself as some savior for black people. You're son of a gun. You know much people in the murder and rape? How much people in the murder and rape? How many lives are destroyed? And continue to destroy. Because it's an evil and wicked abomination. You think that what happened to our people and others, you think that money can solve that? I hear people ask for reparation. I don't know why. Because money can't solve that. That is a curse that is on your head. So nature react against you now. Mother Nature, we belong to that. Abomination. Is a set of abomination. I don't know what me talking about. Right? You know what I'm talking about. Mother Nature kill out the whole of you, slowly but surely. We don't have to lift a finger to do nothing. Not a thing we don't have to do you. Right? The curse is on you and it can't come off. As long as you're alive and as long as we're alive, it doesn't matter. There's a cursed people. And the reaction, the pound now. And it will continue for as long as you live. Anyway, let me let you listen to what he had to say at the press conference. And then I'll return with a few more words on this matter and perhaps other things. Let's listen.
Good morning, everyone. This is us. My name is Shauna Small from the Glino. I have a couple of questions. First off, Mr. Golding,
Yes, Ms. Small.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
There has been an increase in racially charged rhetoric directed at you from members of the GLP. And especially as we are going into the general elections, there is an expectation that those utterances, will continue.
First of all, Jamaica is a society that has a motto out of many one people. I'm a born Jamaican. I didn't choose my skin color and no one chooses their skin color. I'm a loyal Jamaican, a patriotic Jamaican, and I'm giving of myself to serve the people of Jamaica. I think that the JLP's attempts to use my color as a political battering ram smacks of desperation on their part. It is unprecedented. I don't think any political leader has faced what I have been facing in this regard. And it is because they see that this tide has turned against them. And the people of Jamaica are fed up with them, the dishonesty, the lack of integrity, and a government which pursues policies that don't benefit the people in a direct way. So people have lost hope. People want change. And I suppose I'm the embodiment of that as the leader of the opposition. And therefore, they're trying to attack me. And in a sense, I'm flattered that all they can really attack me on is the color of my skin. I'm somebody who grew up here. My wife is an African Jamaican, beautiful woman. And my children are born in Jamaica. And I'm a proud Jamaican citizen. So I think that this is a sad turn of events. And I'm very disappointed in the leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party that they tacitly encourage this kind of behavior, because to me it indicates a lack of principle on their part. And Jamaica's part of the family of nations, We live in a world which is very connected. And other countries, other races of people are looking on and saying, how is it that the government of Jamaica is allowing a junior minister or a former minister, 2 MPs, to be using racial taunts and slurs as a source of attacking a political opponent? It's very bad form, and it's unfortunate for Jamaica, and it really needs to stop. I think that the JLP's attempts to use my color as a political battering ram smacks of desperation.
Is that so? You really think that it's desperation? How about political one-upmanship? Convenience? Seeking political advantage? But you didn't know that. But that is not the only thing them talk about. Warmington may talk about that, but Julia Cuthbert didn't talk about that. She talked about the fact that you are the son of slave owners who murdered, raped, and mistreated her ancestor. She's your man, And you are your ancestor, and she's her foreparents. One of them mistreat and treat bad. You expect her to feel good and like you? Not gonna happen, Marky G, man. Maybe the mother, maybe it was another Englishman. Maybe it was an American. Maybe we can't tell. Because they weren't nice either. So you need to come and tell us now. You say you want to come and serve the Jamaican people. But Mark, you not like people. I not quarrel with you. I'm done quarreling. When me a person, when me say me have to say, me done. So me not quarrel. Me you're reasonable. You not like people. When you say you come to serve the Jamaican people, them 2 little boys look like twins. Are them you come to serve? Is what I'm looking at here and what we are looking at, is that service? That's your true feelings. So you don't like people, you don't like black people. And that's why it slip out of your mouth and you can talk about you married to an African Jamaican. You are a Jamaican, but your wife is an African Jamaican. I say, go Mark. Just like the olden days, when you look in the Bible books, from olden times, the planter was never referred to by his race. He was just a planter. If the man was a pastor, he was never referred to as a white pastor. He was just a pastor. But when they want to distinguish between those who were ruling and those who were being ruled as slaves, then they refer to the other set of people as Indian or Chinese or Jews. Yes, we used to call them Jews. And of course, we were the Negroes. Right? So when you come style yourself as Jamaican and your wife as an African Jamaican, is your whole ancestors them turn up in you? Are them a ruling of you? That's why when you open them out, you keep making these seemingly mistakes. No, it's not mistake. That's your way of thinking. It's in your mind, and as you talk, you just fly out of your mouth. You are the Jamaican. You never refer to yourself once that you're a born Jamaican. You're a white Jamaican. No. You're a Jewish Jamaican. Never. But you come and style your wife by the old nomenclature of classifying people in this country by them race, except for the ruling class. Even though they were in the minority, 10,000 of them, 180,000 of us, and 20,000 mixed, freed slaves and colored. Colored they used to call them. Right? One them want to rip off the mama and have the picnic them. Yes. Rape off underage girl too. Never had no scruples them days, man. Why should you? They're your properties. So, the nomenclature in those days, the classification that were given, you had the whites, and they were never referred to by their color. Then you had the black people that mix, they call them colored, or they call them mulatto if they're a half-breed, quadroon if they're a quarter-breed. If they mix with Spanish, then call them mestiz. I think that's how it's pronounced. And then you have the ones that are free, you call them Negroes. And the rest of them, of course, are slaves. And everybody knows who those were. Everybody knows who those people were, the slaves. Because you had a code which specifically stated that only the people of African born in that continent, who call Africa, were to be made into slaves. No other set of people in this world. You do it. So, poor Jamaica. Enough of we don't like history. And so they will never know when insult are thrown at them face. And I suppose when you go home, go sit down with your other people of your kind, your Jewish community, what a heap of laugh you must have. When you start to speak Yiddish. And nobody know what you're saying. You're a disgrace, Mark. I don't know why you put yourself in this position, Why you put yourself in this position. And I wonder if your Jewish community is very happy. Because you're gone, make now whole heap of ants nest stir up. Because they themselves, to the extent that they were here with the British, they must slave owners too. And look how nice and happy everybody was living. All oblivious to what went on before. Well, to some extent, because a lot of black people don't like a lot of you people. Right? Of course, we're very friendly and hospitable people. When you come, we'll welcome you and make much of you. We don't want anybody things that we are about to. Right? But deep down, we know what to know. We know what you are. And you come now, put yourself in a politics because you're a damn greedy fellow. Greed! And love money. And you're going to cause all of this ants nest to stir up. On your father's side of the family. On your father's side of the family. His father, Marx Goling, was married to an Australian woman named Levy, right? Her father, whose name is Benjamin Wolfe Levy, inherited some money from his uncle called Louis Levy. Actually, he never carried the name Levy, you know. He was called Louis though. And having inherited the money in trust to do all kind of good for the English people, he took some of that money and gave that money to the war effort in the Sudan. You know where the Sudan is, Mark? You know where the Sudan is. Yes, that's a country south of Egypt which is under the occupation. But we'll never give up that land. It is under the occupation of the Arabs. So what happened was the British went and meddled, and in the war between them and the Arabs for the Suez Canal, the Sudanese, people that look like us, matter of fact, them skin blacker than us, some of the blackest set of people on the face of the earth. They took advantage of the war between the British and the Arabs. Arabs busy, and freed themselves. They were a colony and under the subjugation of these Arabs, so they were able to free themselves. When the British realized what happened and them and the Arabs settled them matters, they then decide that they think that this is not a good thing for the Sudan to be free of the Arabs, who are white people like them. So they decide to help the Arabs to regain control of the Sudan. And guess what what was great grandfather did? You're not far away from him, your great grandfather did. Took Uncle Louis money. Yes, and donated some of it to the war effort to help. Remember now, I'm a Jew, and the Arabs and the Jews not take tea, but he was prepared to give the Arabs the money in order for them to go and fight off the Sudanese and put them under subjugation. And then the kind of thing then are your blood. That's why you behave the way you behave. You can't help it. You are who you are. You're your father's child. Now that you did say. You claim you have a birth certificate. But until you came into politics and it looked like you're going to be a minister, you never see any reason to hold a Jamaican passport. Why is that? It can't be just simply because you're a British by descent. It has to be more. And you know what I think it is, Mark? Yes, I don't think you are entitled to carry a Jamaican passport, because under the Jamaican law, if your parents were, if not diplomats, certainly had immunity against prosecution and lawsuits, then the children that were born, if you were born here as you claim, are not Jamaican citizens. They belong to just one of your parents had to be in that state, They belong to the parent country. And in this case, it was England. Right? And I do believe that is the reason why you never claimed Jamaican citizenship at no time. You went about the place with a British passport. I imagine you coming in through the immigration with a British passport. My peeps, I want you to listen to this now. Listen good. The immigration out, full round people, just coming in, so, He would have been traveling on his British passport and coming through the ports, and he had to show them some proof. I don't know what they did, right? Which allows them to stay, because he must have had a permit to stay, right? If he didn't have a permit to stay, what was he showing the immigration as his reason or his right to abode in the island, if all he had in his hand was a British passport? I know of another instance, where some European people, right, friends of mine too, no hear me cuss them, me cussing this one, because I'm a trouble with, right? And the mother and her mother had British passports. But she was married to a Jamaican and living in this country for almost as long as I have life, from 1965. Right? And she was using her British passport to enter and leave. Mark Golding must have been doing the same thing. But by right, unless he had a paper to show that he had residency here, since he is a British citizen, how was he able to pass through immigration to come into the country and live in the country without proper papers? I will investigate that and probably have that for you next time to see what it is that if there is because they belong to Britain, right? They're British citizens. There might have been an arrangement that was left in place after the British left for their citizens to maintain their passport. Because they're not carrying a Jamaican passport. Him only carried for sure. Because him know this day will come. Right? Him know what him and Bunting was planning. And while Bunting and him planning, poor fool, him that knows a Mark and for him, group of people were there planning too. And he's the one that gets shafted. I think when you see Bunting face makeup, I think him realize his mistake. And that he was set up. But that is his problem. Right? Too fool. And have no patience. And that's what they knew about him. But back to Mr. British, Mr. Englishman. So the Englishman don't like black people. Think of himself as the real owner of the land, since it was them that found it, according to them. Right? We came after. So, in their mind, them are the true owners. We might be in the majority, but them there before we. Them lose people fighting to get the island. This must be what is in his head. Right? So he is the inhabitant. And we are the African Jamaicans. I am telling you. And you see the PNP people, yeah, Rocky G, I'm a G. And them run up and down with their shirt, poor thing them. Poor them. Blind. And they are going to march straight into the bowels of hell with this man. That's where I'm carrying them. Because if you don't like people, and worse, you don't like black people, you might marry to one, but that is no certification of the fact that you like black people. So the evidence you don't like people. So children, you don't like black people, you don't like people, you don't like black people. Right? So therefore, why do you want to go in a Jamaica house and rule over them? You don't like the people. Why you want to rule over them, knowing that government is supposed to be an entity which is there to look after the interests of people. People that you do not like. So you could not be going there for those two boys. You're going there to feather your own nest. That's why you keep talking about, come to scrape. If you never come to scrape, then the thing that shouldn't even in your mind should never even occur to you. That you should come out and say something. But you know what is in your mind. Come to scrape. No. Because when you're done to rot, you don't know what will be left. Greed. That is what is motivating you. Greed. And them the people who follow back, you like the Pied Piper? I'm sorry for them. Because you can't do me nothing. No economic policy where you put in place now have no effect on me. Because I'm a thinker, me can always work my way out. They are them people that way you see run up and down behind you, being told by them elders and those who are supposed to know better, the educated people, that there is nothing wrong with you as a white man, as a slave master picnic, unless them don't know. As a slave master picnic ruling over them. Nothing not wrong with it, man. Out of many one people. We don't see color. Yeah, man, them do everything to fool up the black people, them. because I'm foolish. So, if you catch a fool, you use him. Now blame me for that. I would never blame a person for taking black people for fool, treat him like fool, discriminate against them. I don't feel sorry for none of them. None at all. Because if you learn, if you have sense. Right? Sense is what they don't have. And no matter how you kick them down and you treat them bad, them still want to come make you know so them love you. No fool people them there. So the poor comrades them now are being told that they must support you and put you in a Jamaica house. A capitalist. All that they may ignore, you know. They may ignore the fact that you're a capitalist until this blessed hour. You have never stood on a platform and said that you support democratic socialism. Never. But they might run back at you because you have an orange shirt. That is why you and Peter Bunting the figure. Once you don't have one, and you never believe Peter, you know, until you see it for yourself. Because you couldn't believe nobody could have fooled, so. Not true. So you wear your orange shirt and them say orange shirt and I say nothing else. And you talk about PMP and you go win and all them sitting and you put out bizarre poll with all kind of bizarre results. I talk about 100% of the people them go vote. And date not come tell we say poll I tell him say the PMP are leading all 63 constituencies. All Desmond Mackenzie are going to lose in seat too. And then believe it. You must sit down and wonder. You must sit down and wonder to write about them black people. How them fools so. Yes, quite a number of them are like that. But some of us not so fool. The real problem that those people have is that they don't have a leader. Any day them find a leader, then you will see if them fool. Right? So, you want that uppity Negro Peter Bunting? Yes. I know him don't mind me calling him that. Yes, but now you talk about African Jamaicans, so nothing wrong with calling him a Negro. That's all. You Mark? I know that you're not so stupid to make that come out of your mouth. But you and him come up with this plan. The one thing on the see is that this country is corrupt. Right? Want to live high on the hog in the 1990s. And when the time came round for the leadership of the PNP, I want to see him one turn round and was financing. Who knows financing during the campaign? Who knows financing? You remember? Was it Omar Davis? Was it Omar Davis you were financing? Yeah, I suspect so because you were on a political platform. I promote him. Why not? Because if he had won the presidency, how more richer Uno would be now for a phone man that? That's all. Anyway, the only thing that we can do is give the warning. The Jamaican people will do the rest. And if they want to put you there, well, fine. Me not have no objection to that. I never quarrel with people with how them vote because they must know what they're doing. It's when them come to me and complain or come beg now, that's when them going to hear it. From me, I send them to you. And when they come and complain, I go and tell them, tap your eyes and go suck your salt through the wooden spoon. Because that is what you vote for. Because look how we are warning you. Look how we are warning you and tell you. Look at the evidence before you. Look at the man's behavior. Look at the things that come out of the man's mouth. And you ignore all of them. And yeah, Marky G, and we G. Him going to be the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. Like that is an elevation to you. Him being the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Right now, I'm collect $31 million. Up and down the place. I tell the government, so they must take back the money where they were the $12 million from the MPs. But him I make sure saying collect him $31 million. Why him never want the MPs and forget the money? Because the MPs now don't have to depend on them for support in order to win them seat. Them just take $3 million a year and put aside for 5 years. That's $15 million. Then can run them seat. You never want them to have that independence. You want to control them. And by controlling them, then him believes them safe. because then we come to him for money like they did before. And that's the only time he was willing to give them money, as a loan. This is the man I can't tell you about him want you, sensible people, to come put him in a Jamaica house. Look at him behavior, look at the things coming out of his mouth. And him not think say, that is a problem. But because people take advantage of the fact that the people in this country said they don't want no more white man around the country, and them point it out to the people, say he's a white man. Much as you walk and tell lie about your ancestors. Your ancestors, blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors. How you come in it? You're not a black man. You're not no blackness in you. The one man you claim, Logan Levy, you claim born at Cambridge. Him saying born at Cuba. Cuba saying born. Saying born at Cuba. And on the naturalization paper where he applied for citizenship in the United States, they described him as white. So there you go. Anyway, my peeps, I hope that we have been able to explain to you the psychology of the game that this Englishman is playing, because him have no respect for you as black people. Think on a fool. Think on a fool, at least, and think the comrades and fool, because don't live right now, look on him. So I hope when you listen to him, you understand the psychology that is at work and how he's attempting to put things into your head in order to control it. Look here. I am sure you're going to hear some of the comrades and repeating this thing and want to start this trend of referring to us as African Jamaican without even knowing, right? That is one of the control mechanisms. The classification of people is a control mechanism. And as long as you believe that you're lesser than, then he will always be on top of. I wonder if you understand me, my peeps. Yes, man. So I brought this to you because whereas some person saw some things in it, there was a very different message there that everybody seemed to have passed over and not noticed. But we here at Jamaica 411, yes, we are well versed in history, and that is the thing. That is the thing. You have to pay attention to history. Otherwise, you won't understand the things that you're seeing today. Because history, here's the thing that history does. History shows you the event and the outcome. Whereas something that is happening now will only show you the event, but not the outcome. And so history is always very useful for us to study, especially when we're looking at human behavior. And these people are a control freak. And them use all kind of little psychology. And most of them might use psychology to control the way you think and respond. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me, keeping me company, as always. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and leaving your comments. Until next time, you take very good care of yourselves and walk good.